Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $1 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
All right, we've got a great show for you today. It's our tech show. Every month we start off with my co-host Andreas Senie, and we talk about our technology, the prop tech world. Andreas, why don't you introduce yourself and our guest?
Fantastic. Always happy to be back, Jim. It's my favorite part of the month, coming here, sitting here, talking with you, the community, our prospects, customers, and consumers. So I'm Andreas Senie. I'm the founder and CEO of CRE Collaborative. We're connecting the industry from end to end through advisory services and through a simple technology. This month, we've got some incredible guests. Case in point, we have Elizabeth Aghassi over at ProspectNow, who's going to be talking about some of the incredible things you can do with data to go and get more transactions, to close more business. Later on the call, we have Craig Rispin joining us all the way from Australia, a futurist, to talk about the global economy and what's happening as it relates to the world and our businesses. So once again, happy to be here, Jim. Elizabeth, welcome. Everyone on the call, just so you know, I'm in Connecticut. We have power outages all the time, but I should be okay right now. But if it's a little choppy, forgive me. I'm sure Jim will carry for me. Elizabeth, introduce yourself a bit. I think I did okay. We've known each other quite some time now.
I know Andres and I have been working on and off together for maybe 5, 6, 7 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say, Jim, but my brokerage, when I was growing hand over fist, 400% annual earning increases, $200 million in off-market inventory, large part, in some part, was due to ProspectNow, because I was out there getting the right people to reach out to through her system at the time, and then reaching out to them through traditional deal making, sending a letter, knocking on the door, following up with a phone call. And I couldn't have done it then without her. So yeah,
I know that one of the guys in my network, Greg Lascotti, uses it all the time. He says great things about it. Let's find out a little bit about what it does. Hi, I'm a broker. Why should I use that service?
Elizabeth?
That's a great question. That's a really, really great question. You know what? There's actually what problem can we solve? We can solve a lot of problems. So, you know, what's unique about ProspectNow is that we have created an algorithm to help identify properties that have the highest probability of selling in the next 12 months, and then give you all of the tools that you need to successfully market to that property owner. So whether you want to smile and dial, or you want to door knock, or you want to send an email, whatever the case may be, we're going to be able to help with that. In addition to the predictive piece of it, we can identify who investors are. So whether it's an investor that owns multiple properties, you're at least prepared to have that conversation with them. Now, you know, I know that that person owns 5, 10, 15 properties. Maybe it's somebody within your own sphere that you've worked with for a long time. You thought that person only owned 1 or 2 properties. Now you find out that they actually own, 10, 15 properties, like I just said. So there's a lot of different things that ProspectNow is capable of doing. In addition to everything that I just mentioned, we can also identify who decision makers are behind LLCs. And when it comes to the commercial world, we know how incredibly difficult it is to find out that, Andreas Senie owns that property when it's set up as, Senie Family Investments LLC. So those are a handful of things that ProspectNow does that is probably one of the number one reasons why everybody should be using ProspectNow in general.
It sure sounds like it solves a lot of problems. Now, Andres,
yeah.
A case study that you've used this on that you could tell me a little bit about?
Absolutely. I'll give you a great case study. $30 million portfolio, Westport, Connecticut. Great property, great portfolio. I can't go into more detail there, but I'll give you the rough edges. They came up in a search through ProspectNow. I identified the owner name, ProspectNow, took that information, sent a letter, put my business card in. You might not want to do that today. Just smile and dial, as Elizabeth said. Turns out, of course, they knew my name because I work in the area. The guy called me back. We walked down there onto his boat because his office was on a boat. as it should be, a $30 million inventory. And we had a great meeting, and he was impressed by the forward thinking of it all. Then added to that, the way we were using technology. My brokerage at the time, I had an iPad growing out of my arm. People would say that. They'd go, "You are never without that." I said, "Of course not. It's my business. It's here. It's how I show you things. It's how I demonstrate."
It's your playbook.
And it got me the deal. I mean, I took that assignment, and it was a great assignment. Now, one of many. We use ProspectNow today on the brokerage side, and we're excited to be presenting it with Creco as a potential partner, because now, Elizabeth, correct me if I'm wrong, you now have name, email, phone number, which not everyone can say. There are other providers out there that give you an owner, but they don't give you the number. They don't give you the email, right? So talk to me a little more about that. Go ahead.
So that's integrated into your platform. So let's talk about that now. So somebody joins Creco.ai, and now what? How do they find Elizabeth and to find out that they want to use her? How do they explore into your system and find her?
So Creco.ai as a basic platform can search, network, and promote for free. As a premium service, you can, if you also subscribe to ProspectNow, access additional data like that. We help you identify assets through our technology. She's the next gen with their algorithm, and one of the longest in the business, which is important because algorithms get smarter over time. Predictive selling.
Now, David joined us too here now, Andreas. You want to introduce David a little bit more? Because I'd really like to understand what he thinks about this, because this is one of the things that's happening with our industry is it's moving more towards, is this artificial intelligence that you use, Elizabeth?
It is, yeah. So really what we're doing is we're going into any market that has over 100,000 properties, and we're analyzing why are those properties selling in that particular market. So we're looking at really anything that has to do with the physical or the financial details of that property, the type of property, the location, the length of ownership, what is their approximate interest rate, their debt amount, what's their loan position. So do they have a maturity date that's coming up soon, you know? So anything that you can imagine that has to do with those two things are what we're looking at. And kind of to piggyback on what Andreas was saying a minute ago, it is artificial intelligence, it's machine learning. So every week as these transactions are getting recorded, our algorithm gets smarter and smarter because it has more data to go off of. So it's a very forward way of thinking and prospecting, because there's no sense in marketing to somebody if they just refinanced a property or if they just purchased a property. So if we can eliminate 2/3 of the property owners that you would typically be marketing to, it's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and you're going to be making more effective and efficient phone calls. So it's really quality over quantity.
Right. And I'm going to piggyback over that back to Creco. I got to do it, Jim. So go ahead.
David?
Yes, hi.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm just going to tie him in.
Are they going to replace me? Is a machine going to replace me?
No, nothing can ever replace you, Jim. I'm sorry.
Well, I know that. You know what I mean.
Go ahead, David.
I think machines are great for surfacing information. Humans are great for giving decision makers the confidence to act on that information. I think at this point, machines may get there eventually, but I think that human beings need to feel like they're making the right decision, and data certainly helps get them there. But in my opinion, you need a human being to give them the psychological comfort to make those decisions. Now, again, if we end up being a world where all information is perfect, like financial markets supposedly are, and maybe that will change over time with real estate. And the data that ProspectNow is providing is incredible. But you have to know how to interpret the data, and you have to be able to, find the signal, among the noise. And I think a good commercial real estate professional is going to help you be able to do that and lead you to making the right decision.
So then the incredible amount of data that's available today still needs to be processed into information, is what you're telling me.
That is correct.
Actionable insights from the data, the deluge of data. But just recently, the Who You Can Trust by Rachel Botsman. 54% of the population doesn't trust institutions, doesn't trust government, doesn't trust corporations. Now, data's in there. You need the human element to come in and be layered on top of data. So data is only as good as the insight you can gain from it. And David Perlmutter of Perlmutter Properties, here's your intro, David, also founder of Quantum Listing, is a broker, 30 years in the business. I'm 14 years in the business. Jim's over 10 years in the business. More than 10, 20. I'm not going to say it. I don't know. You look younger than all of us. We work with our clients. We are of value because we can digest not only the data from these platforms, but market trends in a micro or hyper community level. And the platforms, what we have seen, are becoming more powerful, especially today, because investors don't have enough product in their local market. My clients need to go outside of my 1 hour traditional range. And the only way to do that is with ProspectNow to identify assets, with Quantum Listings to find assets, with Creco to check the economic health of a neighborhood, or to identify ProspectNow or Quantum Listing, because we bring it together, and then connect to people like you, Jim, how to get funded in those areas. I mean, where are your clients? Are they starting to spread out far and wide as the investor side? What do you think, transaction-wise?
I think that people are retrenching. I think that people are staying within their comfort zone. Most people are playing at doing deals. They're not doing deals right now. They're talking but not doing. That said, I have a number of lenders that I am working with, bridge lenders that are stepping in. Right now, the bridge lenders in our market were not ready to step up and take the risk. They wouldn't adjust their returns and step into the market. So I had to go find other more risk-adjusted return bridge lenders, which I've done, and I'm going to send them deals. It's pure information arbitrage. I'm going to stop with that and turn to a list like that.
So how does ProspectNow help you arbitrage information, Elizabeth? Is it a guided search, list of properties? I don't remember.
That's a great question. So our software is incredibly intuitive. You basically just follow a list of steps and you go in and you build that list of properties. You identify the location. You let the system know that you're looking for those potential sellers, or if you're a lender, those potential borrowers. If you're looking for folks that have, a likelihood of refinancing in the near future, and you basically build it from there. You tell the system, what type of properties is it that you're looking for? And then you start narrowing down and refining your search from there. What I truly love about our interface is that we offer so many filters that you're able to go in and hyper target these property owners with very specific messages instead of just sending the exact same marketing piece to everybody. So you can essentially create these different marketing buckets, and you have your script for your phone calls. You've got your script for your follow-up, postcard that you're going to send, or that handwritten letter. So now you can narrow them down. You can save those searches. The searches are live. So as the data is changing, your searches are going to change. So just because somebody's likely to sell or refi this month doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be in 6 months or 10 months. There could have been something that's happened within that time period that they are not now a likely seller. So like you said, Andres, you just go in and you build that list, or you just dump your existing book of business into ProspectNow and we score your book of business. So we can do either one of those two things.
I didn't even know that. So I can put my client in there and see if I'm wasting my time, proverbially, as in a metaphor.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what's really nice about it, because with your own book of business, you do want to have that constant marketing, right? So you still want to send that letter out quarterly to your entire book of business. But if somebody within your sphere has a higher likelihood of selling, maybe you're going to drop to them every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, instead of waiting every 12 weeks. So it just kind of gives you a little bit more visibility into who you currently have a relationship with that, has a high likelihood of selling.
Well, and that's real-time data, 30 days, which is a big ticket thing. For those that don't know, in real estate, real-time data, 30 days is the best you're going to get because we have to update from county records. I mean, we have to update from all these different places. Creco is updating in real time. ProspectNow updates in real time. David, as a crowdsourced listing platform, updates in close to real time, if not better, because you have brokers updating all the time. And Quantum Listing and Creco actually pass data back and forth. Who knows, one day ProspectNow and I can do the same to make it a better, healthier quality of data, because to Elizabeth's point, it's about the quantity of data passing through. More data, more insights, and then if we can give it to Jim, he'll deliver us to the outcome.
Okay, well, I'm going to deliver us now to a break. We'll be right back after this with, talking about the future of commercial real estate, networking, and prospecting. We'll be back after this. It's great information. It's helping you improve your daily business life. You could start today. We're going to talk with Elizabeth in the next segment about how you get on her system and her platform. So Reagan, take it away, and we'll be right back with more great information. This is South Florida's longest running business talk show. We're in our 12th year, 13th year, I forget now. 08, so that makes us our 13th year. We'll start in about a month. So it's been a tremendous ride. Warren Henry's been our sponsor since 2012. We'd like to thank them as always. And when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. What do they have in common? Well, they're all exceptional cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get a complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and a 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you love your Warren Henry car. They've got their new store open up on 151st and Biscayne. Go up there, see my friend May Stark in service. They've got all kinds of great deals for you, and it's really clean and safe. So, join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian, and a whole bunch of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price. Always the best service. Always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
All right, and she sounds great on those ads. You did a great job, Regan. My name's Jim Freed. Give me a call at 305-773-6300 if you'd like to connect with me. I'm on all the different platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me, get tips, and see what I'm thinking about. Join my network with the people I know. It'll be tremendous. Now, why would you want to get involved with me? Because right now, I'm all about helping my friends, and how I'm helping them is with bridge loans. I'm doing one that's $31 million, for goodness sakes. I'm helping them with permanent loans on their homes. I've got a friend of mine that's going to get a mortgage that's under 3 right now. If your home is going to get a loan of less than $500,000, you may be able to get a great rate like that too. 30 years, fully prepayable. Yamame, as we say in Miami. Call me, 305-773-6300. Email me, Jim@FreedomBusiness. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freedom Business. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Jim Freed or at Freedom Business, and on Instagram at JimFreed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
We're here with Andreas Senie. We're doing our tech show today. Andreas, introduce our guests. Got to unmute yourself there first, Andreas.
Technology guys always have the biggest problems on Zoom meetings.
No, the big joke in the paper today was they said, what's the most common phrase of 2002? Do you know what it is?
On mute.
Correct. You're on mute.
I'm kidding. That's the phrase. You're muted.
You're on mute. That's the phrase. So now that you're not on mute, tell us, who did you bring to the table today?
Elizabeth Aghassi from one of my favorite technologies, ProspectNow, public data aggregator and information arbitrage, as Jim said. David Perlmutter of Quantum Listing, in my mind, the #1 crowdsourced listing portal. So you have the ability to find deals, the ability to market deals, and then you have me, and founder at CRE Collaborative, the ability to connect it all, and then most importantly, Jim, you funding the deal. Without money, none of this works anyways.
I'm the execution. I get things done. So now, I want to talk to Elizabeth. Okay. Sounds to me like everybody's been wasting their time until they get in touch with you.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
They sign up to your platform, and then what's the next step? They start entering names. What? That's
a really, really great question. So really you can do one of two things. You go in and you choose your location, you build your list, and you basically see all of your results. You see all the property details, ownership details, financial details. If the property's ever been listed on the MLS, that will be there. You can pull sales comps, analyze the data that you're searching in. So really you just build that list. The other option when you go in there is to just plug in your existing sphere of influence and pull all of the information or fill in all the gaps that you didn't have about the people that you're currently working with. So you can really use it either way.
How does an animal like me, who has thousands and thousands of clients, deal with this? This is just information overload. How do I sort all this?
That's a great question. So it's literally as easy as taking an Excel spreadsheet, copying the addresses that you have for all of those property owners, dumping them right into ProspectNow, and you can do them in bulk. So you're not limited to just doing them individually. And we can process all the data, up to 1,000 at a time, probably in a matter of 20 seconds. So it takes no time at all. It's just a simple copy and paste directly into ProspectNow.
Then what do I do?
Then you literally pull up it'll give you a list of all of your results. It'll give you an option. So if you want to pull a phone number, it'll also ask you if you want to send them a mailer. We'll have email addresses on quite a few properties in the commercial world. So really, we're giving you all the tools that you need to market to that property owner any way that you see fit. So you'll be able, go ahead.
Does this work in the residential world or just commercial?
Everything.
Starting.
That's a great question. So we started off as a commercial platform and quickly saw that this is going to be a massive game changer in the residential world as well. And so we added residential properties into our software about 7 years ago. So there's really not a property in the country that you wouldn't be able to find using ProspectNow.
In a city that's over 100,000 people.
So the predictive data is in any county with over 100,000 properties. But if you want to just look at the data anywhere nationally, you can certainly do that. So if you want to pull phone numbers, emails, you can still do and or search for any property. It's just the predictive data. We need a large enough sample size to be able to make a more accurate prediction on who's most likely to sell. So if we don't have a lot of turnover in an area, or if there's just not a lot of properties in an area, it just wouldn't be fair for us to try to identify that likely seller if the sample size isn't big enough. But we do have every property. We have over 150 million properties in our software nationally.
So let's get down to brass tacks. What does it cost?
Really, when it comes to the commercial world, most of the folks that we're working with are working on a national level. So whether they're doing triple net properties or whatnot, so you're looking at the cost of $4,800 annually for a national subscription. And then we also sell it monthly for a single county. But again, in the commercial world, because folks are looking at, marketing on a much larger scale, they're wanting to identify those property owners that own investments nationally. It's the $4,800 for complete access to our software.
And how about for the state of Florida only?
State of Florida only, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is $2,500. I'll have to double check. The bigger states, so your California, Texas, Florida, those states are going to be $2,500. And most people are going to want to search in more than one state. So it just makes sense. And just also on the $4,800, if you're working on a team, that comes with 5 licenses. So that'll give, if you're working on a small team, it'll give everybody access to the software.
Okay. Do you have proprietary licenses or just the multiple licenses?
Say it again, Jim, I'm sorry.
You have multiple, do you have proprietary, single proprietor sized, or just the 5 is your smallest?
Well, on the single seat.
It just comes with it.
So you get the single seat. That's the basic. Then when you go up to national, they give you 5 seats because they're assuming you've got more than one guy crunching the data.
Correct.
It's just an assumption. But once you have that data, working with Creco, we can also show you some economic indicators in those markets, new areas. We'll pull in it as you upload there. We're happy to take in your data, give you a single source of truth. Then you take on the assignment, and then what do they do with it, David? Once you have your deal and you got to sell it, what happens then?
You got your deal, you got to sell it. Hopefully you've got it on quantum listing so you can reach as wide a market as possible. And when you're using listing services
in general,
you want to make sure that people are not just going to the listing service, that they're going to your actual listing, because having lots and lots of clicks on a website isn't great if they're not clicking on your property. So, you need to do things that are going to drive people to what it is that you are marketing specifically. We give you options, like showing up at the top of your market or being able to advertise on websites within your market, not just our own website, but any website that is showing Google ads, so that you can get tens of thousands of views a week on your listing and dozens of clicks on it, so that people are actually seeing your ad and generating leads for you by, being able to get your data where they are instead of making them come to you.
Yeah. So, in real estate, for me, as any broker will tell you, you've got to fill the top of the pipeline. You've got to find clients through assets, generally landlords. Landlords then bring investors and tenants. Those tenants and investors lead you to other assets. And it's a circle of life, the real estate life. Assets to tenants to investors and so on. That's why at EAC, we do the buyer rep, landlord rep, and tenant rep. My wife runs my brokerage, wonderful woman. If you need some real estate work, you need the technology work, you got to come back to us. But as we move it around, and that's the point, your transaction grows. There are many parties involved. How do you get to each party? How do you get to each market? So it sounds like getting into a new market, finding the right asset by asset class, by geography. Elizabeth's algorithms will get you there. Then, as I said, once you're in that market, you need the right people in that market to do that deal. Maybe it's a lender. Maybe it's an architect. If it's a lender, you're calling Jim anyways. But in Timbuktu, I don't think Jim does deals in Timbuktu. We might have someone.
Florida.
or the right developer.
So look, the reality is what this is really all about is using technology to make your life a little easier. You need to have a team in order to use it correctly. It really doesn't. It's harder for a sole practitioner to use. Once you get control, you want to put it on David's platform so that you can get as much eyeballs on it as possible. And that's what we're talking about here.
Destination and distribution. First, arbitrage, getting the right data so you can act on it. That's where ProspectNow is key to get you going. Then having the destination to get it in front of the right people at the right stage, whether it's your lawyer, whether it's your partners, whether it's your LP, GP partners, whether it's your investor, if you're selling it. If you're selling it, you've got to get it over to a listing portal. Once it's on a listing portal and it's being bought, it's got to be written, underwritten, lended. So there are 7,000 technologies, 8,000 depending on your definition of technology, prop tech, CRE tech, built world tech, that will help you in your business. We have 2 of them here today, 3 including CRE Collaborative, but we're more of a connector. We're a middleware, plus people.
Okay, well, listen, this has been tremendous. It's time for a break. I want to thank everybody for being here. And I want to, again, Elizabeth, how do people find your platform and how do they get on?
That's a great question. So it's as simple as going to www.prospectnow.com. There's a place there where you can sign up for a free trial. Folks can give me a call directly. I'm happy to share my number if they want to reach out to me. They can reach out to me at 408-348-3625, and I can walk through a one-on-one demo with them. We can use their location for the demo, so it's specific to their area, and they'll, be able to, recognize the area and the location that we're marketing in. So please feel free to get back, call me, email. Happy to help out any way we can. And Jim, I was going to mention, you had asked, do you think that technology is going to replace, an agent or a broker? And I was at a conference last year where that question came up. And the answer, which I loved, was technology is not going to replace the agent or the broker, but the agent using technology is going to replace the agent not using the technology. So I thought that was really, really interesting. So I just wanted to share that with you.
I think that's actually a great spin. David, I'm going to let you hit the last ball here. Okay. How do people get on your platform, and
sure,
what's that cost?
Okay, so Quantum Listing is, you go to quantumlisting.com, and it is a exorbitant $89.90 a year to post unlimited quantities of listings. And as of this past week, you can now post your commercial real estate. Going to be talking about that later today at 3 o'clock. If you want to join our webinar, then I'd love to have you. Quantumlisting.com. Reach me at david@quantumlisting.com, or I always love talking to you at 914-262-0026. So love to hear from you. And thanks, Jim, for having me, and Andreas for including me, and Elizabeth. Great to virtually meet you, and love ProspectNow, and would love to hear more about it sometime in the near future too. So I'll be in touch with you.
I want to thank everybody for being on today. Andreas and I are going to talk about the future of real estate after the next half hour. Hopefully, our guest from
over the pond, Australia.
Yeah, we'll
Craig Rispin should be joining.
We have a personal issue, and he may not be able to be here. But in any event, Andreas is forward-facing. I know I am. We'll go at it. Elizabeth and David can stick around if they'd like to talk about the future of real estate with us. Regan, take it away. Let's sell some cars. We'll be back with some more great information you can use today to make your life better. I'd like to send a shout out to our first responders and, of course, all of our healthcare heroes. People I like the most on this show, well, I'm just going to say it this way. Warren Henry, they've been our sponsors since 2012. That's a long time. Love you, Larry. Love you, Courtney. Thank you so much, Eric and the rest of the team up there. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti and Jaguar. In Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, well, they sell everything down there. It's a great store down there. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. And that means you get complimentary service loaners, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange. You can trade your car in or take it back if you've owned it for 3 days or less. So join me, my mom, lots of my friends, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for working with me and taking my calls and helping me on LinkedIn and everything else. I want to thank you so much for calling me and sharing your issues that I can help you solve. And right now, the issues I'm solving for most people are helping them finance their homes. The window's going to close. Interest rates are going to remain low, but underwriting is going to tighten dramatically. Many people have lost their jobs or had their salaries cut. I'm still helping people get loans. Many people are going to rely on the equity in their home in order to make it through this recession. They'll find in a few months that a lot of that equity is gone because home values will drop. The time to act is now. We talked about it last week with Casey Conway on the show, the CCIM's head economist. The time to act is now. Call me, 305-773-6300, or email me, Jim@FreedomBusiness. Either way, do it now. Because when you call me, it's never been more about you.
Welcome back to Freedom Business. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Jim Freed or at Freedom Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
I want to talk about the future of real estate here in the second half hour. My good friend Adam Lipkin asked us to talk about what's going on in the future of real estate. What do we see it? He specifically does commercial PACE loans. We all know that the future real estate for him looks bright because a lot of people are going to need that extra cash on top of their existing mortgage in order to make it through, and they're going to use it for reserves and refitting. So high five to Adam Lipkin. There's a free ad for you. And let's talk now about the future of real estate because it is dynamic. That means it's changing. It's changing a lot. We already talked about how technology is changing. If you're not using technology, you're going to be left behind. I've adapted. I use technology every morning now to network. Thank you so much, Andreas, for helping me out. David, we're going to co-opt you. Are you on LinkedIn, David?
I am on LinkedIn. Yes, I am David Perlmutter.
You go around and around and around, and the LinkedIn helps you boost your posts. So I found that only 10 or 15 people were seeing my LinkedIn. Now my friends comment on it, and 500 to 1,000 people see it. It just didn't pick it up early enough, so only 300 people saw it before the show. We'll have to work on that. I'll figure it out. But so what I'm doing is I'm co-opting my friends to use technology to network. The next step in that is going to be I'm going to stand like this on the morning and ask them all to come and then network with each other. And then the final step will be to create some kind of online networking thing, and I am working on that too. It's a void. And these big companies that have been doing the meet and greets, they haven't stepped in. It's very strange. What are you seeing about networking, Andres? Your site almost replaces it.
Right. So Siri Collaborative was built to help you leverage your network, build your network, and that's people, technology, data, put it all together for you, the advisory services you need. So getting connected. That's the 2.0 technology, like my site, which actually acts as a connector for sites that were built 1.0 era that don't talk to one another, for people that don't know how to message and communicate. We'll come in and we'll give you the renovation you need to the way you do business to do business better today. When you talk about virtual networking, I attended my first virtual conference last week. It was interesting, to say the least. It was like watching TV with a clicker, flipping through channels and seeing different things. I got some tidbits, but the networking wasn't there. You need direct connection, like with you, Jim. We start talking and we move, hands together, moving together, all with the goal. You can't just shove everybody in a room and hope they find one another. You've got to get them to their outcome.
And networking is much more than looking at somebody's avatar or face. Okay,
yes.
It's body language. I go to the stuff. I see who people are gathering around. That's the person I want to meet. Usually that person is me.
Yeah, you know, Warren Henry.
They talk. That's how I meet new people. I mean, new people like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what I do. I bring energy, positive energy. People are attracted to that. I think they wrote a book about that called The Secret.
You're absolutely right. There are studies that show that ingenuity, productivity will decline over a longer period of time. Right now, we're seeing a huge boost because we're all working from home, and we have some more comforts, and we're getting some work done in what we do. But you need to be with people, like-minded people, to help move you forward for your brain to sustain that level of productivity.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I always have said in the past that the way we remain resilient is by surrounding ourselves with people that believe in us, which is why we have David on the show too, because he believes in what we're doing. So, yes, David, now, David, who is somebody within your sphere that you go to, and you can't say me or Andres, to talk about what's going to happen in the future, and what have they told you? How's that for a good question?
Wow. Well, there are a bunch of people. I'd say one guy I talked to about the future, very entrenched in the commercial real estate and commercial real estate tech world, would be Duke Long. He used to publish a burn it to the ground kind of newsletter, which I think he got tired of being a lightning rod, so he's taking a break from that now. But, he's from Indiana, the middle of the country, and he's found a way to make himself relevant all over the world. And that's by going out and, by being, this incredible source of energy. Sometimes, he's very supportive, and fortunately for me, I'm one of the guys he's been very supportive of. There are other companies that, he doesn't mind the scorching. Sometimes they're the entrenched hippos in the market, but he speaks the truth the way he sees it, and I like.
He doesn't apologize for it, and I quote.
One of the things that I've been doing is I've seen that the technology really has been working. What I do is I'll go through the different posts and I'll see the people that have liked it or looked at it or whatever, and those are the people that I'm going to call. Works every time.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I was just thinking about you. I go, yeah. I know. But then I thought, well, there's a reason that they're looking. They're looking because they like the content. The content appeals to them. The content is getting them interested. What are they interested in? What the content is saying. Right now, my content is consistent. It's saying if your hair's not on fire because you want a loan, you're in the wrong place. Your hair should be on fire because you do need a loan. Now, we're going to make sure that you don't overborrow. We're going to make sure that you don't get into trouble. We're not going to do somebody that's got bad credit or bad prospects. But if somebody really is financeable and wants to do something, we are going to, and here's the operative word, help them achieve their goals. Because my personal brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their goals. One reason I have this podcast. Because what are we doing on this podcast, Andreas? What are you doing right now?
Helping people achieve their goals. Communicating value.
Goals. I'm helping you achieve your goals. David, same thing.
Absolutely.
All I'm doing is what Ivan Meisner, who's been on the show, says. He says, all you want to do is buy. You don't want to sell. Sometimes when I'm doing this LinkedIn thing in the morning and I'm saying to people, will you help me? I feel bad because I'm asking them to buy. I'm selling without asking to buy. I only do it with my friends. Some of them I joke with. And so they get it, and it's okay. But I'm going to start to branch out now. I'm going to start to see if I can do it with email, snail mail. Maybe I'll get in and I'll work with Elizabeth and ProspectNow, which I understand is tremendous. The most successful people I know are using that. Just for the record, she's not even here anymore. I'm still hitting her. Hopefully she's We've got one more segment after this. We're going to hone in on the future of real estate. I'm going to spill my guts on what I see. I think you already know. We'll be back with more futurism right after this. Adam Lipkin, we answered your question. You're the future. More information that you can use today to make your life better coming up. All right, everybody, let's get rolling. If you're looking to buy or lease a car, you got to get every advantage that you can. That means you got to check out Larry Zinn and the rest of the team at Warren Henry up on their new store at 151st and Biscayne. Look for my good friend May Stark. She runs the service up there. She's got great specials for you. Now, what do they have up there? They have Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti and Jaguar. Down in the Keys, they've got a store that sells everything. Up in Gainesville, they've got a tremendous Audi store. I love going there. The cars are really cool. What do they all have in common? They're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. You go, what's that? Warren Henry Advantage? It's this page of good stuff. I read it every day. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, 72-hour exchange. If you don't like your car, you could return it. But let me tell you, it's not even on here what the biggest advantage is. The biggest advantage is that you become a member of a Warren Henry family, and they love you. I know, because I'm a member. My wife's a member. My mom is a member. You should join me and a lot of my friends and become a member of the Warren Henry family. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
She's just tremendous. I don't know how anybody could hear that ad and not hire her on the spot. I mean, I can't believe she hasn't replaced me on my own podcast at this point. Hey, everybody, give me a call at 305-773-6300. I'm Jim Freed, and I'm here to help. How am I helping right now? Well, I'm helping in a bunch of different ways. I've got a client that had a bridge loan. His deal fell through. I was working on it at the beginning of the cycle. His money was going to come in from Europe. Never showed up. All the local bridge lenders, they don't want to take on the risk profile, but I've got one from out of town that's willing to step in. He'll charge more, but he'll take on the risk profile. So I've solved this guy's problem, subject to the things, as we all know. Until it's closed, it's not closed. But that's just one good thing. And I'm looking to find him more deals. So call me if you need a good bridge loan. Also, what am I doing? Got about 10 different friends I'm closing residential loans with. You go, why do it now? Because rates are really low. I've got a guy who's basically perfect, who's under $500,000 loan amount. I'm going to get him a federally insured loan. It's under 3%. Well under 3%. 30-year fixed, prepayable. Think about that. Think how much that can save you. Now, if you need something bigger, much harder, over $500,000. That's a jumbo. That market's gone. You could probably figure out why, given what's going to happen with housing values. If you think you have equity in your house, now is the time to pull it out. It may not be there in a couple of weeks. Call me, email me, Jim@FreedomBusiness. Whatever you do, do it now. Why? If you're listening, you're going to understand it. It's because when you call me, it's all about you.
Welcome back to Freedom Business. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Jim Freed or at Freedom Business, and on Instagram at JimFreed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Boy, that was a whole great example on the future of real estate right there. I keep looking up because I got the video in the wrong place. But that's a great example of the future of real estate. You could hear the voice. You could hear me. You could hear Becca. We're projecting ourselves to people in a way that's different. We deliver it in a way that people don't usually get it, but they appreciate it because it's a positive, short, snippy, snappy message. I've been doing these videos in the morning. They're great. And it's great for me because I project who I am. And Brewster Kell's been on here many times talking about the fact that people do business with the people they like because everybody's qualified. Elizabeth talked about how not everybody's going to be qualified in the future, but figure out if you're knocking on the door, 3 other people are too, and they're all qualified. The person will pick the person they like the best. So you better start working on who you are and the way you interface with people. Andreas, you talk to people all the time. They do it on your computer and on your system, but you can't make somebody look better than they are.
Oh, no, they have to be responsible for their own brand. We can only help make sure that brand lines up in every single channel. Becca can help improve that brand. And then it's destination distribution. I'll say it again. Destination distribution. LinkedIn is a destination. Distribution is getting to LinkedIn. Got Adam Lipkin. Adam's actually joining. He called him out too many times. Here he comes.
Yes, I called him out, so he had to join. He had to join. He had to stand up for himself.
So Creco.ai will get you your distribution. We'll provide you the destination and the technology toolbox that you need to get business going. Still up to you to be qualified and then become likable, just all like Jim does. Look behind him.
Well, I'm qualified, I'm likable, but here's a guy who I pattern myself after. He's qualified, he's likable, and he's really social. He's the future of real estate. He's Adam Lipkin. Hey, Adam, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Jim. Thanks for the impromptu invite. Appreciate it.
No, it's no problem. It's just that your post today was all about, the future of real estate and some interesting things. We only have like a minute left, but what you're doing is solving problems for people that have capital stack issues right now in a very creative way. You got like a minute. Go.
Yeah, look, we've been talking about this all the time. There's a lot of distressed properties. You're looking for cheap capital. You don't want to, pay an arm and a leg, pref in the 15 to 20% rate. You don't want to lose all your equity. So PACE is a really great solution that you might want to consider. I'll spare you all the details, but you could find me on LinkedIn at adamlinkedin.com, and I'll share all the details if you want to follow up there. Thank you so much.
You got to follow him on LinkedIn. Him and I post together all the time. We are back and forth. We're the yin and the yang of LinkedIn. By the way, I want to thank you publicly for the tips, the coaching, and all the great ideas that you give me to help me reach my network. And I want to thank you so much. It's been really tremendous.
Awesome. It's a pleasure, man. I love doing this with you. It really helps move it forward. So it's good stuff. Appreciate it.
It's tremendous. David, you're second to the last because I'm always last. And no, actually, you're third to the last because Andre's going to get a chance too. David, real quick taste. One more pitch. Give it to us.
So Quantum Listing is a great resource for you for looking for commercial real estate, for sharing your commercial real estate. When you add your listing to us, we'll share it to the world for you. And we also give you great resources so that you can teach your listings how to find your customers for you. So for $89.99 a year, we think we're a great solution for you and your commercial real estate.
Can I list a service there? Can you list services on that, like CPACE?
Well, I promised you last time I was on your show, Jim, that we're going to give you a brand promotion ad, and we're still waiting for you and Becca to.
Becca's designing it. Becca's designing it, but we had a couple of things I wanted to make sure that it said and didn't say. We're working on it, but Adam, this guy here, he gets you everywhere. Swear. Andreas, second to the last.
So Siri Collaborative, search one and done, a single portal connecting you, your technology, your peers, and the industry. We are your CTO, your advisor. We are a service first, a technology second. The service works with the technology to get you to your outcome, to help you transact more real estate through partners and our network of people like you, Jim, through David, other technologies. Hopefully, Adam, yes, we do services. Come on our site, be a member. Let me connect you. Jim, you're on the site, getting connected. Let's get connected. Alone at home together. Wait, not really. New real estate together in the digital world.
Yeah, I want to get Adam on your platform. I want to do a thing. I want to get us all on. We'll do a thing. I hope you guys don't hear the grinding that's going on upstairs. That's why I wanted to end a little early. As everybody knows, they're rehabbing my building, and here they go. So listen, I want to thank everybody. Can you guys at least hear me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
This is tremendous. This is the best part of the show. Tell everybody what I go through.
It's like a little hum.
You gotta, in life, you gotta take what it gives you. You gotta make that lemonade, everybody. I want to give a shout out to the first responders, the health heroes. We'll give a high five to everybody. Elizabeth, David, Andres, my good friend Adam for joining us. Of course, Reagan always making me feel and look good. Thank our sponsors. Warren Henry's the best. Creco.ai, Carlson Integrated, Turkel Brands, Lerner and Rowe. I want to thank you, my listener. If you can still hear me, please go to our Facebook page and like our show. Tell your friends. I'm on LinkedIn. We talked about that all day today. Facebook, YouTube. YouTube is cranking. The website gets thousands and thousands of hits. Thank you, Becca, for doing that. If you missed today's show, Reagan's going to have it up on freedombusiness.com ASAP. Next week, I'm going to be talking about something good. I can't remember what it is right now. Guarantee me we'll have fun. Remember, I'll be on noon Wednesday next week. Why? Because I just love doing this. Remember, the person that wants to do something finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen.